move on to Courtney Ries, who is the Senior Vice President of Destination Branding and Strategy at Meet Minneapolis. Courtney, I know you had some things that you wanted to share on your side, so I'm going to go ahead and stop my screen share so that you can share your screen.
Sounds great, thank you. So like everybody else, we quickly pivoted to what we were sharing. The biggest thing for us really has been emphasis on communications across all of the different stakeholder audiences, seemingly all at once. So while that frequency of communication has slowed, we still do see high open rates and click rates through all the communications that we have. So that's one of the things that I'll show out. I wanted to show just a couple of examples of the way that we were able to work and kind of call out the resources. So we do have a button that we created on our website that does kind of flag support our community that carries through, as well as adding a COVID-19 resources page on our home site. We were also, through this support the community, able to kind of pull up this gathering section. This for us, with so many things being created and so many great resources. Obviously, we are a large city. There's a lot of media publications, and they're all trying to provide value to their readers and to our local community as well. So we both created our own content, but also served as an aggregator for other content that is relevant to our various stakeholder audiences. So we picked up with the We Got This MPLS hashtag. This is the video that we were talking about earlier. And these are some of the resources that we were talking about. So it's a mix of being able to pull in information as well as create or spin some of our own content. Some of the information, which many of you have probably also seen within your own communities, is that the social distancing opportunities with outdoors and improved weather is wonderful, but also the parks potentially being overloaded. So that is something that we actually added as a flag to our articles as well, reminding people to stay safe on the trails, things of that nature. We also pulled in a CrowdRiff gallery for those of you that do work with CrowdRiff that highlight the various things that our community is doing, both partners and non-partners. This was really, again, important for us to be able to show and visually depict that things are still going on in the city. There are opportunities for people to engage, and it also allowed us to highlight in a visual fashion some of the things that, that are happening around town, as well as highlighting them obviously on our social media channels. This is one of the articles that I wanted to talk about as it relates to trying to do some of that link out. So again, some of it is around food and information. Here are some of the best lists that we have found, some of the other tips, some of the other content that we're able to cross-purpose and cross-reference, as well as provide some information that kind of links out to some of the other neat things that are happening. So this is something that we've seen a lot of traction on. It allows us to support small businesses. It also allows us to talk about what's going on in the community, and allows us to repurpose our content in some different forms and fashions, so we didn't have to create everything from scratch. We do have some more of the cut and dry information too. That's the localized summary information as it relates to our destination, with such a patchwork of stay-at-home orders, shelter-in-place orders, lockdown orders, no guidelines at all, general social distancing. We know that it's really important for people, especially meeting planners, and then even our own teams, to be able to see the information that is coming out. We also did realize that a lot of this came from our partners themselves. So kudos to Jen Shaw, who's on this call, and our director of partnership. Her and her team called all of our 700 partners, talking to them, asking about what they needed. And one of the things that really came from it was kind of this resource guide, information and request, really looking for ideas and tips and tricks and clarifications as it related to both their own business as well as what we were seeing on a national landscape. And then finally, this is, again, the deals page that was showed before. Shout out to Tempest too for some of their continued response. I know that they are helping us and making some back end changes so that we'll be able to even kind of take this quickly started up thing and be able to turn it into an even more robust resource by breaking it out by category, so that we'll be able to continue to keep it up to date and maintain it. And then people can also see what they're looking for in a relatively quick fashion, because we know that people are going to be reading a lot, consuming a lot of content. So finally, I wanted to just provide an example. We did do very frequent communication to our partners, and we have pared some of that back. When the information was changing so quickly, it felt that we needed to do something multiple times a week. But now we are trying to pull that into once or twice a week. So this is an example of how we're able to repurpose this. We're able to highlight kind of the information and resources. We do have an upcoming event where we'll be highlighting tips and tricks that people can change with their Google profile, because we know that that's something that is very relevant and actionable for our partners. We want to make sure that some of this content isn't all doom and gloom, but we're able to show how we're being supportive resource. Again, call out looking for folks' deals, the information that we provide, hotel, and then updated event cancellation, particularly as it relates to new or notable. The situation that we have in Minneapolis right now is that the governor has a stay at home order, which is through the middle of the month, and then a suggested additional 3 weeks of social distancing, which would then align more or less with what the federal government, CDC, is recommending. We do know that that is likely to change and shift and evolve, and some of that our groups are booking that are even outside of that window are booking or are moving their events. So we do know that we have certain partners that are already looking months ahead and saying, okay, well, I'm going to potentially look to bring back staff in August for this really big event. And if that really big event is looking like it's going to be moved or postponed, then it's something that they want to be knowing and thinking about now as they're doing their own planning. So that's some of the information that I have from Minneapolis, and I will kick it back over to Jenny.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Courtney. Yeah, it's definitely been really inspiring to see how you and the team have been working together to really elevate your community and share out all of that information, and being such a great resource for your local businesses. It's fantastic that you've been calling 700 partners. That's amazing. Nice work, Jen, and your team. That's fantastic. And